Hello, friends. This is another episode of the program Empire of Lies, in which we discuss manipulation and disinformation in Russian media. A Budapest that won't happen. How Moscow explains flexibility without concessions to the West. In the latest episode of the program Big Game, Russian television rhetoric once again demonstrated how the Kremlin turns even the failure of diplomatic initiatives into a show of force. Formally, the discussion focused on the failed Putin-Trump summit in Budapest, but in reality, it was about a new way of asserting Russia's rightness through the language of readiness for anything. First, an extremely polite tone. Putin, according to the host, allegedly merely agreed to the American proposal for a meeting and emphasized that such negotiations require well-preparedness. The direct quote from the president's speech is framed as if Russia demonstrated responsible maturity, while Washington demonstrated capriciousness. It was the American side that postponed the meeting. Thus, Moscow is crafting a narrative not of isolation, but of its own excessive readiness for dialogue, which the West is supposedly thwarting. But just a few minutes later, the same program strikes a completely different note, a warning. Russia is ready for any development. Dialogue, it turns out, is possible, but only if its basic security interests are recognized. In other words, a conversation only on our terms. This is the key formula of the Kremlin's current foreign policy rhetoric, a combination of softness in form and a harsh ultimatum in content. Here's what Putin said about the possible use of long-range systems against our country. Let's hear it. An attempt at escalation. But if such weapons are used to strike Russian territory, the response will be very serious, if not stunning. Let them think about it. It must be said Trump did give up the base. He just said the day before yesterday in an interview with you, or in response to journalists' questions, I don't remember now, that this would be the use of weapons by the Americans, since the Ukrainians can't do it. Absolutely. The only weapon that actually exists, and which in fact is the subject of so many copies, are those very same Tomahawk missiles. But at the same time, experts have explained many times that Ukraine cannot use Tomahawks independently. And before Trump, when he said that it was impossible to study Tomahawks in less than 6 months, we said this here in this studio several times.